My name is Katina and I'm a person in long-term recovery. And what that means to me is I no longer choose to use drugs or alcohol as a solution to life's problems. I first started experiencing abuse when I was about 5. There was sexual abuse, there was emotional abuse as I grew older. Ultimately, what it made me feel was that I needed to be perfect to be loved. I didn't feel like I could be myself. I didn't really know who myself was. I started using as soon as I got into high school. I hung out with an older crowd and that's what they were doing, and I kind of was to fit in the beginning, and then it kind of escalated from there. I had a very hard time as a teenager. I really felt like I wasn't good enough. I became severely depressed. I had a lot of problems with my family, arguing with them. I get kicked out of the house. I just kind of felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I was searching for something and I didn't know exactly what it was. I got into a relationship with someone and he would give me these pills. It would started just like one a day or something like that, and I just knew that I really liked them. And one day I didn't have any and I went to work and I started to feel funny, like I had like hot cold sweats. I felt like I was sick but wasn't. When I got off work that day, I went home and I just kind of started Googling. And I found out that what I was experiencing was withdrawals. That started a 5-year spiral with pills. I used them every day, sometimes spending 100, 200, maybe more on pills a day. And I eventually got pregnant. Amelia was born and it was amazing. She was so beautiful, so perfect. I thought everything was okay. I was still using pills and eventually they just came harder to find. And I started using heroin. And at that time, I actually took Amelia to my dad's side and left her there for about a month. And I told them I just had some things I needed to figure out. I was able to come off the heroin by using methadone and meth. I was in the streets, living a very fast life, and eventually I got pregnant again. I obviously couldn't care for the baby and I could barely care for the one that I had already. So I contacted a wonderful private adoption agency called Adoption Minnesota. I spent a lot of time before this crying all the time, not knowing what to do, just laying on the floor in my room, just saying, somebody please help me. I went into labor. And when I went to the hospital, I just was really treated poorly. From the very first woman I met with, I told her I've been using. And immediately her demeanor changed. I kept blacking out from the pain. It was so bad. And her response was, it's because of the meth. I felt so judged. I felt so alone, the most alone I've ever felt in my life. But at the same time, I felt like I deserved to be alone. I gave birth and did the adoption. Amelia had been placed with my uncle, and I knew that in order to get her back, I had to go to treatment. I had a warrant out for my arrest, and I needed to go obviously take care of that. I turned myself in thinking I was only gonna go to jail for 10 days, but the judge said 90, but do 60. So I set it up before I left that the day that I got out of jail, I would go straight to treatment. And I did it. I went straight to treatment. I was at Teen Challenge for 30 days. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been referred to Wayside. Before I went to Wayside, I was very scared. My hopes were that I could get my daughter back and that I could learn as much as I could about being a parent, because until then, I really wasn't a parent. I signed up for my first pass, and on my first pass, not even knowing, I went to my mom's house because I wanted to get some things, and ended up finding an old bag of mine, and without even thinking, I took it. And immediately after, I just started panicking inside because I knew that that wasn't what I was supposed to do, but it was so second nature. And the old me, when, I start using again, I would just kind of not go back to treatment. But this time I knew the best thing for me to do was to go back to treatment. And I went back to Wayside.
So good to see you.
I told my counselor, Katina, what I had done. And she helped me through it so much. She helped me to realize that it's not about what I did, it's about what I did after. And the fact that I came back to treatment and told on myself right away was just an amazing step for me. It's not something I would have done before. I didn't know that addiction was really a disease. I didn't know much about addiction at all. And they were able to help me put those pieces together through my life that led to my addiction. I didn't understand why I did it, and I was able to learn why through Wayside. I'm just so grateful every day for the experiences that I went through and everything that I have today in recovery. I have my own apartment. I got my license back. I go to school to be a paralegal. I got my daughter back. My CPS case is closed. I graduated drug court. I'm making sober friends, and it's really amazing for me because connection was really hard. And I learned a lot about human connection at Wayside and was able to take that on into my life. Today, I believe that I'm smart. I believe that I'm beautiful. I believe that I can do anything that I want. I believe that I'm in control of my thoughts and feelings. I believe that I am a good mother. I believe that I'm loved. I don't have to be perfect to be loved.